and also representing GDG Nairobi. And so I'd like just to talk briefly about GDG Nairobi. GDG Nairobi is basically GDG is Google Developer Group. So Nairobi, we have several GDGs across the globe, and so in Kenya we have
So maybe
six of
Leila can
them,
confirm
and
if
Nairobi is
she's
one of
recording
them.
and
And
then we can
basically,
start.
if you're part of DSC, the Developer Students Club,
Leila, can you
GDG is like the
confirm if you
mother
started
of
recording the mid
DSC
session and then we
because
start?
DSC is in universities.
Oh yeah,
Then
yeah, yeah,
GDG is
yeah.
Okay,
now on a
yeah, she's
city
recording.
level,
So I
or
think we
how
can
will I call
start.
it, a region level. So yeah, so we basically do the similar things, like what DSC does, carry events, and also host like one of the biggest events called DevFest. You probably hear about this next year when the time comes. And yeah, and also collaborating with DSCs and other communities to actually have events. The whole aim is for people to learn, connect, and grow. So if you want to become a member of GDG Nairobi, yeah, it's just there's really nothing much to it. You just need to join the platform like the DSC one, and then you'll get to see news or upcoming events. I mean, that's just basically it. I'm just sharing the link to join GDG Nairobi, and yeah, because we are partnering with DSC, we want to have this event. And yeah, without even wasting much time, I would call Ivy to start off the meeting, the main agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Ivy, are you talking, or am I the only one who cannot hear Ivy?
I think she froze. Network, perhaps.
Oh,
Can't hear her also, but looks like she's talking.
ah, this village people are really working overtime today. I don't know if someone can tell her.
Okay, I can stand in for Ivy. Hey guys, I'm
Okay.
Ian. I'm Ian Zoroge, and I co-lead this DSC MOI. So I'll just give you a brief intro to what DSC is. And DSC stands for Developer Students Club. DSC Developer Students Club. And this is in case you bumped to this meeting and you have no idea what it is. It's a technical session, a virtual technical session on web monetization, and we're glad to have Sultania who will take us through the whole entire stuff. So DSC is a university-based community for students interested in Google technologies. So we get to connect and learn through peer-to-peer learning, and we it's just a community with for campus students for the students interested in Google technology. You can learn more about DSC and more specifically DSC Mo University. I will leave the link to our chapter down below, and you can also tweet us at Twitter, that is at DSC_MOI, that is DSC_MOI. You will get a response instance or with no time. That's about DSC. I think if Ivy is, hey, I will hand over to Ivy to tell us about Angular and officially start the session. Ivy?
Okay, sorry guys about that. I think my village people today are working overtime. So and at Angular Kenya, basically what we do is, okay, we learn together the Angular framework. So yeah, we meet. We have frequent sessions, and this December we'll be having sessions starting from 10th December where we'll be having discussions on Angular, anything Angular. So yeah, I think that's all about Angular Kenya. So once again, I'm really sorry for the technical issues, and I want to thank you guys for making time to be with us here today. And today, I want to introduce our speaker, Sultan Akim Tunde. He's DevRel at, DevRel, at, uh, DevRel, at, uh, Grants for the Web, and he's focused on, uh, he's focused on, uh, Grants for the Web, and he's focused on, uh, Grants for the Web, and he's focused on, uh, Grants for the Web, and he's focused on, uh, Grants for the Web, and he's focused on, uh, Grants for the Web, and he's focused on, uh, Grants for the Web, and he's focused on, uh, Grants for the Web, and he's focused on, uh, Grants for the Web, and he's focused on, uh, Grants for the Web, and he's focused on, uh, Grants for the Web, and he's focused on, uh, Grants for the Web, and he's focused on, uh, Grants for the Web, and he's focused on, uh, Grants for the Web, and he's focused on, uh, Grants for the Web, and he's focused on, uh, Grants for the Web, and he's focused on, uh, Grants for the Web, and he's focused on, uh, Grants for the Web, and he's focused on publicizing about monetization in Africa. So yeah, I think I'll hand over the session to Sultan so that he can take over. And yeah, I hope you guys have an interesting discussion on web monetization. So yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much. I would just want to just put up a tab. All right. Thank you. Okay. All right. So good afternoon, good morning, good evening from wherever you are. My name is actually Sultan, and I would be talking about web monetization itself. All right, so before I even try and dive into web monetization, the whole IntelliJ and stuff, I actually want to just talk about the progression of the way people earn money from the web and the whole idea about web monetization itself and other stuffs relating to it. And so web monetization is something that quite a lot of people must have probably just thought about. And the way the name implies, web monetization, it's strictly a way for you to actually earn money on the web. But then this is not the first time people are earning money on the web. So how exactly have we been doing it all this while? And why do we need a new way to do it if we've been doing it perfectly all this while? I mean, yeah, so firstly, to earn money on the web, majorly, you have to provide a certain content. So it could be you selling something. It could be people have to subscribe to a certain subscription. It could be a one-time offer. You're selling a book. You're selling a video. You're selling pictures. You're selling items. You're selling stuff on the web. So there are tons and tons of ways. You're selling a service, a subscription-based service. You can even earn money with ads and publicizing ads on your platform. There are tons and tons of ways to earn money on the web. But then what is the should I say the best way, the easiest way, and the should I say the method that actually puts in the user in mind? Because whenever you earn money on the web through content creation method, the focus is more on the company, the service you're using to earn that money, and you as a creator. So the user practically has nothing to do with all the outflow except for the data that is being taken or the service you're selling to them. So they have no single say whatsoever in however it is you're using the data you're getting from them. They have no say whatsoever on the kind of content, on the method of fund extraction you use on them, and however you choose to use this data you're gathering from them. The users have no say on all those parts, which is cool if it's a small scale enterprise and cool. But when it comes to large scale, where you have tons of users and you have tons of data that could shift opinions and co, then this becomes a very dangerous thing. This is what we talk when we talk about targeted ads. I mean, ads are okay, they're amazing. It allows you to put your product out there. But when you come to targeted ads, there are a lot of downside and negative impact that this ads that this might bring in. So what is web monetization? This is an introduction to web monetization. Okay, all right. So yeah. So I'll be making use of some terms during the short talk. One of them is users. So user is everybody consuming content on the web. So either you consuming content from a mobile app, from a web app. If you are actually getting like example in this certain setting now, I'm providing the content and you're listening to that particular content, and you are a user. And that makes me what a creator. So I'm providing a certain content online. So you could provide content in terms of videos, audios, in terms of services, in terms of access. Yeah, you could provide content in terms of access also. You could provide content in terms of should I say in terms of audio, video, the what's it again? Audio, video, pictures, yeah, pictures, games, even as a service, even as a CMS like Ashnode, like Devoto, you could provide content in those ways. So you could provide a platform as a content also. So you could have a platform that gives other people the advantage of that platform to create a platform for their own content. This is what something like what WordPress does, stuff like that. And yeah, micropayments. So micropayment has been defined in a lot of ways. One of them is, I think, according to PayPal or so, it defines micropayment as any transaction below $5. But in this term of web monetization, micropayment is way, 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 way lower than that. So we're talking in cents now. So these are in 10 cents, 20 cents, 5 cents, like that. So micropayment is money. Yeah, let's just have that. It's money in dollars. But then it's a very small amount of money. I can actually pass through Interledger. Interledger is a payment protocol, and that's another topic on its own. And then users are everybody consuming content on the web. Creators, everybody providing content on the web. Micropayments, the money that moves from the user's side to the creator side. I think that should cover that part. So what is web monetization? So it's basically a way for content creators to generate revenue through micropayments that are coming in from the user. So let me try and create a scenario like this. Is okay, let's say if everybody on this call right now, if I'm a, let's say I'm an aspire to perspire speaker, I'm coming here to give you motivational quotes and co, and let's say each one of you have to pay me $0.5, something like that. You have to pay me $0.5. That means I'm a content creator and you are a user, and you could just substitute that $0.5 to micropayment, meaning a way for me as a creator to earn money from you, the user, through micropayment, to receive money, to receive $0.5, however you substitute this micropayment for in the sentence. All right, so that's like the easy way. But then the in-depth way of explaining this is web monetization is like the only means of revenue generation for content creators that actually takes in place both the users and the creator when it comes to revenue allocation. So all other method of revenue generation for content creators, we have the subscription-based model, we have the ads-based model, we have the one-time off-based model, and we have the web monetization-based model. All except apart from the web monetization-based model, all other models has to do with the fact that it's only focusing on the model itself and the content creator. It's not for the user here. For example, for a subscription-based model, now you as should I say you as a user, when you subscribe on what's the popular platform, let's say YouTube Music, for example. This is not me bashing YouTube Music, so it's just like an example. When you subscribe on YouTube Music, that subscription is just for YouTube Music. Now, whether you listen to one subscription, one music in a month, 20 music in a month, it's just for YouTube Music. You can't take that same subscription and take it to, should we say, Spotify and say, oh, I have a YouTube Music subscription. Let me continue here on Spotify. Or perhaps you say, oh, and there's a certain track I would love to listen to, but because it's not on YouTube Music, how about I take it and listen to it on Apple Music? So I don't know. So we have YouTube Music, we have Deezer, we have Spotify, we have Apple Music. But so you have to subscribe to each and every one of them because of the certain content they are providing. So the best bet for you is to decide that which of this platform would have more content that interests me, because it's definitely possible that all platforms don't have all the content that you would want. Perhaps a certain artist, a certain kind of music you would love and co, or a certain feature you would love. So you're struggling between, oh, let me choose the one that at least it will be okay for me, if not the best, it will still be better than the others. Or you cannot switch a subscription between saying, oh, I have a subscription on Apple Music, let me take that subscription and go and use it on YouTube Music. And when I'm done on YouTube Music, maybe the next song I want to listen to is on Spotify, and let me take that subscription and go to Spotify and listen to it on Spotify also. And oh, I'm done on Spotify, let me go to Deezer and listen to it on Deezer also. So you're kind of stuck with that YouTube Music subscription you have, which is not a bad thing. But what if there is a subscription that allows you to say, oh, I'm listening to YouTube Music now. When I stop listening to YouTube Music right now, I stop giving YouTube Music money, and I can go to Apple Music and still continue listening to songs on Apple Music. And when I'm done with Apple Music, I stop giving Apple Music money, and I can go to Deezer or Spotify and still go there and still use one single subscription that I'm using. And the fun part is, oh, however much I use the subscription in a month, it cannot finish. It's not a capped subscription, and it's based on our subscription. So let's say, for instance, Coin comes to the middle. Coin is a payment, is a provider, is a wallet provider, so a service provider that services web monetization itself. So let's say Coin comes to the middle and say there's a service now that says, oh, instead of subscribing $7 on YouTube Music or $10 on Apple Music. How about you subscribe $5 on Koi, and with that single subscription on Koi, you can access all the songs on YouTube Music, all the songs on Spotify, all the songs on Deezer, all the songs on Apple Music. Now that's better because now you don't have to switch between who is the better who is the better therefore who is the better angel. We just have to decide that, oh, that's cool. And the next thing we want to ask is, how won't this subscription be too much for me to bear? Now the fun part of monetization is that because you're only going to pay for what you use at a certain time, or at a certain point in time, you don't end up using your old subscription, or even if you end up using it, it's spread across that certain month, so it never exhausts. So it's like once you subscribe, once you switch to web monetization as a user, and I'm talking about it from the user's perspective now. Once you become a web monetized user, you kind of have that privilege to switch between content, generate revenue for whatever content provider you are consuming their content on the spot. So it's not gonna be, you're not gonna subscribe to New York Post, then subscribe to CSS Tricks, subscribe to Dev.to, subscribe to Ashnode. With one subscription, you kind of have the way of getting access to all the content in those platforms. And the good side for this platform is also that they get to cancel the issues of barriers. What I mean by that is, take for instance, they wanted to use the subscription-based model. So that means you have to subscribe to CSS Tricks, New York Post, the New Yorker, CSS Tricks, Dev.to, Ashnode. And that means whenever you want to pay, Ashnode has to factor in the fact that, oh, somebody from a faraway country that is not using the US card, that's not using an Indian card, would want to pay. How do we handle payment processing from a currency that we don't even know what it's going to be? That is not USD, that is not Naira, that is not in Kenya. Sorry, I don't know the currency in Kenya. But how do you factor in stuff like this? So that's the upside of what it looks like when you think about the whole concept of web monetization. So I will stop sharing my screen now, and I will try and look at the faces of people that I'm speaking to, so that I kind of get more morale and know that I'm not talking to myself. All right. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. All right. So I'm just trying to get the concept of what web monetization is at the background, at the base level out there. I don't know if I'm able to do that correctly, or there's some certain questions you would want to ask before I actually move forward. Hello. Yeah, you could type if you have any question before I move forward. You could type them in the chat section. I will check the chat section now. And if there is no question, I guess I would probably move forward. But I, Tabi, I'm trying to know that people can hear me and I'm interacting.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. All right. So I was asking if is it that everybody else is on mute, right? Or how is it going? I'm trying to see if I can. I know this is a virtual conference, so
Yeah.
it's not the one where you could look at people's face and see those that are sleeping off when you're talking. But then I would just want to know if you could just hear people's voice and perhaps people's comments in the chat section asking questions, and I think I would love to move on then.
Okay, then I don't know if you guys are able to unmute and talk. So maybe Jesse
Current,
or okay.
currently, I think everyone is muted.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you could use the comment section. You could just drop a message in the comment section.
Okay, okay.
Oh yeah, somebody's asking, wouldn't some corporations like Apple Music refuse to take part? Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, so definitely. So I just want to iterate that the concept of monetization is not specific to the use of music. So I use that as an example. But then, yeah, it's gonna be something like that. Yeah, since this could use for music, it's not specific for music, but music is one of the stuff you could actually listen to online. So yes, there's a big chance that yes, Apple Music by side that they want to start using web monetization. But then this is a big part that they could also refuse it and be like, oh, we might not make as much money as we would be making when we're using web monetization. So yeah, definitely things like that are actually possible. I mean, this is a kind of a model that would want to tackle subscription-based model and even ads-based model. And for ads-based model, that's a market that is close to $5 billion per annum. So it's not going to like a walk in the park. So it's going to take a lot of policies. It's going to take a lot of thinking and education to actually for people to actually see the difference when it comes to ads and web monetization. Definitely, yeah, I understand that. All right, so I think I would go ahead and share my screen then continue now. Okay. All right, thank you. So yeah, why we do web monetization? Yeah, it saves time. One. Why I'm saying it saves time is that take take the point here that if you're using web monetization as a service, then you don't have to actually just you don't there is no need for you to log in and create an account on every single platform you go into. Now, the reason why a platform would require you to create an account and you have to log in would one of these few reasons. Number one is because they need to store your data for when you come back, so they can actually continue, or you could have actually store data on their platform. That's one. It's two is because they need to have your data for whatever reason it is. That's two. And the third one is it's actually the third one. So they need to store your data and they need to have your data. Is that a third one? I don't think there's actually even a third one actually. Yeah, I think those are just the two major reasons. So, in terms of them having your data, that's on them. In terms of them storing your data, it could be you need to store the certain information to actually confirm that you've paid whenever you want to access premium content on that particular platform. But either way, it's something that we really do not need on all platforms. I mean, there is no need for me to register. For example, now on Medium, there's no need for me to register on Medium because I want to read one article. However, Medium might require to have your data because they would love to actually see the kind of articles you read so they can suggest similar articles to you. Now that's possible, and that's one of the reasons why they might want to have your data. So we want privacy, yes. I mean, have you tried using your WhatsApp and suddenly you're talking to somebody about buying something and immediately you're talking about that you're on Instagram or Facebook and you're seeing ads for that particular thing you just finished talking to somebody about, or you just search for something on Google and for the next 1 week that is the ads you're seeing on Instagram and on Facebook. That's because that's called targeted ads, and that's kind of invading your privacy, which you signed up on when you click I agree. So the terms and conditions that you never read, you never read it. It's just there, you just scroll, and it's okay for them to add that after 10 years we own your life, and you still click I agree, which I also do. So that's privacy. So I want to support these amazing creators. Yes, when it comes to indie creators and standalone creators and a lot of those content creators out there, there is a lot of barriers to enter when it comes to a lot of these models. For example, ads requires you to have a certain level of or numbers of audience to actually integrate some kind of ad services. Subscription-based model, nobody would subscribe per month to an unknown artist or an unknown content creator that does not have that fan base or that support base already. Even no matter how amazing their content is, it will take time for them to actually get that numbers that will make people come and subscribe to their platform. But if they're using monetization, it kind of levels the playing field because when a big corporation that is in billions of dollars are earning revenue, you that you're worth a few $100 are also earning revenue. At, perhaps not at the same scale because of the numbers of users, or at least you're earning the same revenue from the user. So yeah, you get to support these amazing content creators, and also it's like a one subscription to access them all. What I was saying earlier about, for example, once again, I'm trying to reiterate that this is an example about the music example, music technologies that you could have one subscription to use on Deezer, Spotify, on Apple Music, on YouTube Music. Yeah. So if you're on web monetization as a user, it's quite easy for you to access all of them if all of them are using it, as opposed to having a separate subscription to everything. So that's cool and that's faster. And so who are the creators online? Creators ranges from several places and in terms of whatever it is you want to define it. But yeah, bloggers and story writers are content creators. Article writers are content creators. Medias are content creators. Content provider in terms of audio, if you're providing content over audios, in terms of videos, it could be video, could be animations, could be music, could be explanatory. Those are content. Images are content also. Softwares are content also. Games, you could add games under software. Their content also. There are service providers like Ashnode are content, like Dev.to are content. Yeah, speaking of Ashnode, Ashnode will be hosting something very amazing for content creators very soon, where you get to earn a lot of gifts for just publishing content. It's coming up very soon. Ashnode is gonna make that public very soon. So I'm just giving you like an insider trading right now that Ashnode is working on something really amazing for 2021, which starts this 2020. So perhaps you start saying about it from next week or so. But it's gonna be super amazing. It's gonna be super helpful for technical writers that are in Africa and all over the world. Actually, it's super amazing, and they will be doing something really great very soon for content creators. All right, so yeah, how do you set up your web monetization as a creator? Yeah, so as I said earlier, the two major parts of web monetization is the creator part and the users part. Now, as a content creator, there are lots of platforms out there that use